Good afternoon, Year 4. This afternoon you're going to be investigating which materials are transparent, translucent and opaque. And the reason why we're doing this work on light and shadows is because we're trying to create a play of the Gruffalo's Child, and in the last and final scene, the mouse, being a clever little mouse, is using what he knows about shadows to create a massive shadow of a mouse that will frighten off the Gruffalo's Child. And we are going to have to recreate this scene in our own play, so we need to understand light and shadows and how to manipulate them so that our play can be successful too. And this is part of the learning that we will need to have. So I'm just going to share with you our lesson success criteria. So moving me about a little bit. We're going to learn what the words mean: transparent, translucent and opaque. We're going to understand again and have a look through what happens or when light cannot pass through an object and how this forms shadows. And then you're going to go and find some materials that are translucent and opaque and transparent yourself. So first of all, I'm going to recap the little picture that Miss Colliver showed you last week, which illustrates the fact that light travels in a straight line. It doesn't bend, it can't bend round objects, so anything that gets in the way of that light travelling in a straight line could potentially block it. So here you can see the picture of the light is shining on an object which happens to be a ball. The ball blocks the light, and where the light has been blocked behind it, a shadow is formed. So essentially, a shadow is where the light cannot go. It's the absence of light. If we have a look at these words then, I'm going to move me around again, I keep moving myself about on screen. Opaque is a word that means that light cannot pass through it. So an opaque object is an object that blocks all light. Translucent means that a little bit of light can pass through, but not all light. So it's an object that allows some light through it, but not all. And transparent lets as much light through it as normal. So this picture here shows you, it gives you an idea of what opaque, translucent and transparent would look like. So you can see quite clearly the giraffe in the transparent window. You can kind of see a little bit of the giraffe in the translucent, but you wouldn't be able to see anything at all through the opaque window. So to recap, in a transparent object will let all light through. A translucent object will let some light through, and an opaque object will not let any light through, so you wouldn't be able to see through that object. So your job this afternoon, I'm moving myself around a bit so you can see the screen again. You're going to get dizzy keeping looking up at this. So you are going to test some materials. You're going to go around your house with a torch and you're going to try and shine some light through your material. If the light comes through the material, then you have found either a translucent material or a transparent material. If the light comes fully through, then you've found a transparent. If it's some of the light comes through, then translucent. So sometimes it's quite handy to hold up if you can put the object on a window, and can you see through it, or can the light from the window still come through your object? A little bit how I showed you with the giraffe in the window. So you're going to see if you can find some transparent, translucent and opaque materials. You're going to record them in your learning journal. You can do this however you like. You could split your learning journal in 3. I've used a table at the bottom. You could draw the materials and label them. You can do a table, you can do circles. It's entirely up to you. I would also like you to reflect on your learning. What do you notice about the objects that are opaque, transparent and translucent? And how is this learning going to help you recreate the shadow scene in the Gruffalo's Child at the end? How is this going to help you recreate that? Because you're going to have to start thinking about, how are we going to act out that last scene? What could you use to create that shadow of the mouse? Okay, I look forward to looking at all your work, and happy testing. I hope you find lots of different materials that are transparent, translucent and opaque.